November 7th, 2015, 33-year-old Michael Shaver left work as a Disney World mechanic and was never seen again. 3 years later, local station WFTV was there as Lake County, Florida police dug up his skeletal remains. They were buried under a concrete slab and fire pit in his backyard in Florida. He had been shot once in the back of the head.
Not every day somebody digs a body up out of your backyard.
Michael Shaver was married with 2 young kids when he disappeared. His wife, Laurie, told his friends and his employer that Michael had left her and moved to Georgia so they could work on their marriage.
My name is Laurie Filmer, also known as Laurie Shaver, and I'm a devoted mother. My life is my children.
According to court documents, friends and family received text and Facebook messages from Michael after he disappeared, but they said those messages didn't sound like him. They also began to question Laurie's decision to give away or sell Michael's guns, tools, and car.
The word crazy, I think, sums it all up.
In February of 2018, Michael's best friend asked police to conduct a wellness check. Laurie initially cooperated with police, but later refused to let them bring a cadaver dog to search the property. A month later, Michael's body was found.
She's always been a suspect, yes. We've always considered her a suspect. Detectives are confident that she is the last person to see Mr. Shaver alive.
In 2020, Laurie Shaver was charged with second-degree murder. She pleaded not guilty. In 2023, her defense team filed a notice that they wanted to introduce evidence of prior bad acts and violence inside of the home. The motion further states that she did not shoot and kill Michael Shaver, but that their minor child, who had just turned 8 years old, acted to protect her mother.
I am not guilty, and anybody that knows me knows that my life is my children.
Laurie and her attorney posted a YouTube video to assert her innocence and asked for donations to fund her defense.
I had nothing to do with the murder of Michael Shaver.
What a twist in this case. When that motion was filed to say, Laurie Shaver didn't do it. It was her daughter stepping in to defend her. That daughter was 7 years old at the time. So as we're getting ready for this trial, we're like, wow, they're gonna point the finger at the 7-year-old. She's now like 14 or so, and she's gonna come into court and basically say she did it? Maybe, maybe not. Another huge twist in this case. Unbelievable development. Let's go to Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson joining us live outside the Lake County Courthouse tonight down in Florida. Matt, I mean, first we took this huge left turn and now they're like twisting me around again. What are they saying now?
Hey, Vinny, nice to see you. So what a bombshell here as this case gets underway and goes to trial after nearly 9 years. That's right. During opening statements, the defense changes their course, changes their story altogether. And it was once that the daughter walked in and there was abuse, there was a fight, and she grabbed a gun and was protecting her mom. And then the story changed to the lover. The lover took the gun and shot her husband. Take a listen.
She's at the residence with her mom, and then walks Michael, carrying on. He starts to battle his wife, and Isabel hears, I'm gonna kill you. She hears a lot of commotion. She hears her mother begging, leave me alone, leave me alone. She walks in the room. She'll testify. And poor old Michael was sitting in a chair with his foot on Laurie Shaver's head as Laurie's gasping. And Michael is sitting there threatening to kill her. And this young girl, in desperation and in fear, runs and retrieves a firearm. As she believes she shot Michael, she thinks she did. She says she thought she had. She believes she had. But almost simultaneously, in walks Jay. He sees what's going on. Laurie is still on the ground. Laurie has not even gotten to her feet. And Jay walks in. And takes a gun from this about, shoots Michael Shaver in the head.
Oh, and that's not it, because then the defense goes on to tell the jury their new story, adding to the fact that they say that Laurie had no idea that Jay buried her husband in the backyard and laid down that cement, and that he also told her that she needed to get out of the house and away with the kids and better never tell anybody about what happened, otherwise she would be next. Vinny?
Oh, wow. I'm wondering, this lover, Jay, this is the one that she tattooed on her private parts, right? This is the guy whose name she put on her private parts. Do we expect him to be in court? Has anyone mentioned that they may call him as a witness, that he may come in there to either say I did it, which I doubt, or deny it one way or the other?
Well, what we know is outside of the presence of this jury, it doesn't look likely that Jay, who's the real killer, will be called to the stand, because they tried to subpoena him and they couldn't find him. So the big question right now is twofold. Will the daughter take the stand? Because it was also very interesting in those opening statements where they said the daughter still says that she believes that she took the gun and fired the weapon, killing her father. But yet, that's not the true story. So will she take the stand? But also, will Laurie take the stand? We heard at the end of court today when they were talking about scheduling that the defense may start their case in chief in this very fast-moving trial as early as Thursday. She hasn't made up her mind yet. She has been out on bail these past 9 years. She walked away from the courthouse with her attorneys today. We have yet to find out if she's going to take the stand and answer those questions, Vinny, including, who is Jay to you? Do you still talk to the guy? You know, has your story changed and why? And, you know, answer some of these other questions. Did you not know what was in your backyard?
To try to get in front of the jury that somebody else shot and killed her husband, you're going to need testimony, right? So I guess her daughter was there, but she was only 7 at the time and doesn't have a clear recollection. It seems, I mean, to argue that story, Laurie's got to get on that stand and tell the jury. What a moment that would be. Unbelievable. All right. We're in day 2 of this trial. We've had big moments all around. What a case here, Matt.
Yeah, big moments every day. So you started off with that bombshell right out the gate in day 1 when the defense changed their story and their whole defense here saying that the daughter didn't actually do it, that it was the lover. And then on day 2, powerful testimony from family and friends talking about when Michael Shaver, their loved one, went missing back in 2015. And then they sat in court today after 9 years of waiting to take the stand and face her at that defense table. They sat in court and they listened to the medical examiner detail how he died. Take a listen.
Did you determine the cause of death in this case?
Yes.
What was the cause of death of Michael Shaver?
In my opinion, gunshot wound of head.
And what did you determine the manner of death to be?
In my opinion, homicide.
3 men, 5 women in that jury box. They are paying close attention, and the courtroom is actually pretty large. What you can't see is that the exhibits are put on a monitor right next to the jury. We can't shoot the monitor, otherwise you'll actually see the jury members. But that's what's on the screen. And then when there's no evidence on the screen, they spell out the person's name who's testifying. So, you know, they're making sure, the state is, that the notes are detailed enough, or if they have any questions.
Matt Johnson in the middle of it all, another, wow, what a case. Matt, we will be speaking tomorrow and the next day, and then perhaps, you know, when there's a verdict. Matt Johnson in Florida tonight. Let's bring back in our think tank, Ann Bremner, Philip Dubé, Michael Sterling. All right, Philip, what do you think about that left turn there?
If I were Jay, I would voluntarily submit to the jurisdiction of the court, come in and take the stand and just deny it. You know, she's throwing him under the bus, trying to point the finger at him as a third-party culprit. What better witness would the state have to say this lady is Delulu? She's nuts. I don't know where she's coming from. I never pulled a gun on anybody. I never saw a child do this. I had absolutely nothing to do with this. And then you know what? She'll be forced to put the kid on the stand, or she's going to have to take the stand in order to even get a third-party culprit jury instruction, because I could see a judge shutting it down and just say, look, you have to have more than just motive and opportunity for the jury to infer that a third party did this. You need something to buttress it and to corroborate it and to really link it up. Otherwise, you're asking the jury to have an imaginary doubt rather than a reasonable one as to the identity of the actual perpetrator. So I could see a judge saying, no go, I'm not allowing it.
And Bremner, your thoughts about this? This is the guy that she tattooed, you know, on her
I know, too.
Special place.
Right. I don't want to comment on that. I mean, obviously that didn't last, that romance or whatever it was. But
I think he got spooked. He got spooked by her that she was getting too serious. I mean, they were both married at the time, and what do you think he's thinking tonight as he hears what she has now done here?
I think he's thinking he dodged a big bullet. You know, it's like, I don't want to be with that one anymore. Like the neighbor said, she's crazy. Yeah. You know, it all sounds crazy. I mean, come on, you say the daughter did it, but oh, I guess not. Maybe it was my boyfriend, but we can't find him. And oh, by the way, you know, I love my children, and it's been 9 years, and I didn't know he was under the fire pit in the backyard. I mean, I can't imagine defending this case, but the tattoo part, I would hope they try and keep that from the jury.
Oh, the jury needs to know everything. All right. When we come back, we're going to continue talking about this case, some of the big testimony today, more analysis. Don't go anywhere.
I want to take you back to November 7th of 2015. Did you see Michael and Laurie Shaver that day?
Yes, sir.
Did you see Michael and Laurie Shaver interacting together?
Yes, sir, when we first got there.
And what was the demeanor of those individuals while you were there?
It seemed to be there was some tension between them.
Why would you say that?
Well, when we got there, we met up, and it was like, I don't know what happened. They just weren't their friendly selves.
Through Michael Shaver, did you ever meet his wife, Laurie Shaver?
Yes.
And did you ever go over to their house to visit or socialize?
Yes, multiple times.
Going back to November 2015, did you have any upcoming plans with Michael Shaver for later in the month?
Yes, we were planning on having Thanksgiving together.
Did you ever receive any contact about those Thanksgiving plans, either canceling it or doing anything with those plans?
Yes, I messaged him multiple times a couple weeks before just to solidify the event, and after that, he just texted me back saying that we were canceling it.
Was there anything unusual about your correspondence with him about that event after November 10th of 2015?
Yeah, he kind of just stopped talking to me and said he wanted to be left alone.
Was that out of character for him?
Absolutely.
Were you there at any time when there was any violence between Mr. Shaver and Miss Shaver?
Yes.
So you witnessed that?
Yes.
Did you have to get between Mr. Shaver?
I had to get between both of them.
So when you're referring to some violence that you observed between them, you never saw Michael Shaver touch or strike Miss Shaver in any way?
No, he would never.
The only thing that you saw was Miss Shaver brandishing a weapon and making threats?
Yes.
Did you know Michael Shaver?
Yes.
How did you know him?
He was my uncle.
And you reached out to Mr. Shaver in 2016, and what was the content of that message?
It says, "Hey, Uncle Michael."
And above that is the response that you received?
Yes.
And what was that response?
Who are you?
And did you respond to that?
Yes.
And what was your response?
I'm your niece.
nice.
Did Michael Shaver's Facebook account respond to you when you said that you were deceased?
Yes.
And what was that response?
I don't have any family anymore. I have no clue who you are. No, stop messaging me.
Powerful testimony from the people in Michael Shaver's life. He disappears, but they're getting these messages like, leave me alone, don't talk to me, all that sort of things. This is after he disappeared. But now we've learned that the defendant knew all along that something had happened here, right? So how does this jive? Who's sending those messages? Is she covering up for her lover who threatened her? Is that going to be the story? Let's bring back in the think tank Ann Bremner, Philip Dubé, and Michael Sterling. How does these pieces, how do they fit together for the defense? Because I don't see them fitting together. If all these people are getting these messages after he disappears, yet she now knows all along that he was shot in the back of the head in this violent incident, and that her boyfriend, her tattoo boyfriend, lover is the one who did it. Like, what's going on here? It doesn't fit for me.
Yeah, the pieces don't fit together for the defense at all, Vinny. I mean, but they don't have to, right? The prosecution has the job of putting together the puzzle. The defense just has to pull away enough puzzle pieces to create some reasonable doubt. But yeah, I agree with you, Vinny. The puzzle pieces aren't fitting together. They've now admitted she knew something happened to him. There's text messages from his phone to family members, friends, other people, basically saying, leave me alone. I don't have family anymore, things like that. Basically a cover-up, so to speak. And she knows what's happened to him, and she's not reported anything. And even after she, is not with her former lover anymore, her ex-boyfriend, she still doesn't say anything. Are they going to argue she was in fear for her life, in fear for her safety, in fear for her and her daughter's safety? I'm not sure, Vinny, but the puzzle pieces are not fitting together for the defense team.
Ann Bremner, it makes no sense to me. I mean, defense has a theory. It's got to have a little bit of common sense for it to be reasonable to me. And this doesn't sound reasonable right now.
Not at all. I was just thinking, as you'd say often as a prosecutor or defense, like our case is like a tapestry, it's like a painting, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and everything fits together. I mean, that's a lot of what we say on both sides. I mean, this one's like a Picasso painting or something. The eyes over here, and I don't know where everything is. But it's a mess. It doesn't make any sense. And, the path of the law is reason. We always ask jurors to look at what's reasonable and for reasonable doubt, and I just don't see it here.
Yeah, Philip, that's what I used to say to the juries when I was a prosecutor. I would say, ladies and gentlemen, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. It's like beyond a reasonable doubt. I just say, it's got to be reasonable.
Of course.
Like, is this reasonable? This is not reasonable. This is silly.
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's a great layup for count 2, the accessory after the fact. Because if that's what they're angling for, and she can live maybe with a 15-year top, then that's a great way for the jury to split the baby, just to say, look, I think there's a reasonable doubt as to the murder, but she clearly did all kinds of stuff to cover up, the cleanup, if you will, after the fact, to protect her daughter, to protect the boyfriend, obviously up until the day of trial, and now obviously she's pointing the finger at everybody. But if she is spoofing through the ex's phone by purporting to be him, it's all designed to avoid detection after the fact and not in preparation for the coup de grace itself. And if that's what she's going for, it's actually brilliant because, again, it has a 15-year top.
Yeah, the problem for her, Michael Sterling, is she's free right now, so she's not going to get any credit. She could have got credit. She could have got time served for that charge almost.
Yeah, but I was noticing that. I was like, it's very rare, in my experience, that you get a defendant who's on bond on a murder case, unless every now and then you get a self-defense case where you can get a bond or something like that. But it's very rare to have a defendant on bond in a murder case. And I was looking at her,
just walking in and out of the courtroom, no problem. Yeah. It's a different dynamic.
Yeah, the Karen Reed case, I think she's out on bond, but it's not something that happens all of the time.
Well, it's happened here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.